On this episode, we review our dinner at Topolino's Terrace, Flavors of the Riviera. Today is September 20th, 2022. This is episode 497 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. And then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you're going to get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. And if you did not get those dining reservations you wanted at your 60 days out, don't worry. Mouse Dining is going to remove the frustration of booking that Disney dining, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. If you visit msmfriends.com, you can use this free service. And then finally, if you're getting ready to plan that next Disney or Universal vacation, looking to go on a cruise or pretty much travel anywhere else in the world, head to mainstmagictravel.com and fill out a form for a free quote. Our travel services are completely free to you.
So we are talking about Disney's Topolinos. So good. I'm going to be so hungry after we talk about this.
We should have eaten first.
We should have. This is located at Disney's Riviera Resort, and this is at the Epcot Resort area. This is French or Italian. It is character dining for only breakfast. It is a fine signature dining, and your discounts are annual pass receives 10%. And of course, there is no dining plans available as of right now.
No announcement from D23, I'll tell you that much.
Nope. Breakfast does run from 7:30 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. and dinner from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
And I'll say this is one of the places where mouse dining really can come in handy.
Absolutely.
This is one of those top reservations. It's extremely hard to get, whether breakfast or dinner.
Yes.
We recommend both. We have now done both.
Absolutely.
This is actually our second full sit-down dinner.
Yes.
We went back not long after it opened,
Mm-hmm.
and then about 6 months after we did breakfast, which we absolutely loved. We had a large group.
We did. This was for Amy's birthday, pretty much.
Yeah, well, it was.
So.
I mean, this was her actual birthday. Yeah. And all the timing worked out that they were going to be there. We were coming down. We were going with like Lucy and Caleb, and Chuck and Allie brought Alex over for the day and all. Yep. And so we were really excited to sit down and have this dinner. And it was 9 of us. Mm-hmm. And we got seated, which was so wonderful, and it was so perfect, I felt like, for this occasion. When you come in, first of all, I guess talk about kind of the arrival. To me, this is very California Grillish, right?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, because when you come in, you take the elevator to the top of the building because that's where basically the restaurant sits. Excuse me. So we did. And when you come out of the elevators up to the hostess stand, there's wine. Bottles and bottles of wine.
Yeah, it's like at California Grill, you have that wine wall.
Yep.
And
then there's another one where it's really pretty and it's a good little picture place.
There's kind of seating when you're waiting for your table off to the left there that we were
Mm-hmm.
able to go and hang out a little bit. Yeah, and we got some photos of our group and all, because we all got a little dressed up. Nothing crazy, but we got a little bit fancy. But yeah, it gives me that same feeling when you come out of that elevator and there's just this reveal of not only, this wine wall and the hostess stand, but then as you go and look to the right, it's this big, open restaurant and these big picturesque windows that are looking out over, the lake there in Caribbean Beach. And then off to your right is going to be Epcot as you come around. And so it's just beautiful there. Mm-hmm. And we got seated in the back. There's actually a private room area in the far back left. That you could close off if need be. And so it was just perfect.
Not like I wouldn't have like a conversation that was very like it's basically it's not let's see, how am I trying to explain this?
I don't know.
Because it's like mesh, or it's like
the walls are you're not it's not private in the sense of
it's not like a clear glass like room,
right?
So you still can hear the hustle and bustle,
but it was so perfect for this group because it is certainly quieter,
and it is,
and it was easier for us to have conversations with each other, and especially when you're looking at a table of 9, you're kind of like, if the person on one end wants to talk to the person on the other end, that can almost be impossible out in the midst of a very busy restaurant where it was easier to do here.
Yes.
And we had Alfred as our
Yes.
cast member, our waiter, who was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was.
And I will say this is, you can find amazing service throughout Disney, property, of course.
Yeah.
And their cast members are always outstanding. But this is just one of those places where every time we've been, you come away going, that was one of the best servers I've ever had.
Yeah.
And that's the same way Alfred was. We got some awesome photos with him at the end because he was so wonderful. And it just, he was outstanding. And so they bring you first the bread and olive oil. And this is
good.
super good.
And it also, Amy is gluten
gluten-free.
allergy. That's sorry. And she got some gluten-free bread, which was super cool.
And
I was so excited that she was able to join even having this allergy and eat a lot and most everything we were eating as well. And she did get her own menu as well. It was awesome.
Yeah, and this bread is so good. It's like little breadsticks that are all connected. That it almost looks like a tree or a branch. Yeah, from a tree or something.
Super cool.
And then they explain the olive oil to you and where it comes from and how long it's aged, and it's just super rich and delicious, and really has. And as somebody who doesn't really like olives, I like olive oil, but it has a rich olive flavor to it, but one that even I enjoy.
Yeah.
For somebody who doesn't, necessarily like olives. So, as Rhonda said earlier, this is French Italian dining basically, and so you have a full menu of things like antipastos with slow roasted octopus, and you have escargot, which I'd really like to try sometime. You have the olives, the warm olives that we got the last time we went, that again I actually enjoyed. So what did we first kick our meal off with, because they have a wonderful cocktail menu. And what did you get?
I got the French Rose. And this is Kettle One citron vodka, creme de rose liqueur, basically.
Pamplemousse rose liqueur.
Raspberry, agave, lemon, and soda water for $15.
How'd you like this?
It was super good. It's just super refreshing. Yeah. Chuck got the same one. We really, really enjoyed them.
Yeah. I tasted it. I thought it was refreshing. Same with what I got. I got the Topolino Tramonto. And Tramonto actually means sunset.
And it looks like a sunset.
In Italian. And it does look like a sunset. And yeah, Alfred told us that little bit, which was cool. And this is vodka, Caravella, limoncello, Aperol, lemon, agave, butterfly pea, flower tea for $16. Yeah, just super refreshing. If you've listened to us, we do our, vodka waters and a little splash of lemon juice or a little splash of cranberry. But a lot of times we like to come to restaurants like this that have these, handcrafted specialty cocktails you can only get here. And we like to get one just to try it out. And these were delicious. So we go back to the antipasto, and we didn't get it this time. But I still want to talk about what I think is their signature. I'm just going to call it an appetizer in a sense. And what is that? It's
the
one of my favorite
ricotta.
things on property. Yeah.
And I mean, I make my own ricotta, and I guess try to make it as good as this, but it does not turn out as good. But it is. It's tomato, aged balsamic, cracked pepper, basil for $14. And it is just, I don't know, this homemade ricotta is just absolutely, in my opinion, I could just eat it by the spoonfuls, I feel like.
Everything here is it's so fresh.
Yes.
And this is house-made ricotta. And, Rhonda said she makes it at home a lot. And we started after this.
Yeah.
We went here and we were like, I wonder how you make ricotta. And it's super simple, right? Was it milk, milk, heavy cream?
Milk, heavy cream, and, well, you can do a lemon juice or a lemon, stuff, but there is a...
white balsamic, correct? Or no, vinegar.
A white wine
vinegar
that you can use. And it was so funny because one of the recipes I said a good white wine, and I actually got the one that is what's the
Bertolli?
yes,
Yeah.
I like the olive oil and of that brand.
Yeah.
That yeah.
Seriously,
So
look up a recipe
it's so-
at home to make. It is super
it's
easy.
Super easy.
And then we've even gone.
You just have to stand
and-
over it.
Yeah, you got to watch it. I mean, it's not one you just set and forget or anything.
No.
But it's really, really good. We'll actually she'll make big batches of it sometime, and then we'll make lasagna or something with it, and you can definitely taste the difference.
Yeah.
And then what we've done for as an appetizer is actually go to Publix and buy their pre-made pizza dough that they have over in the bakery section, and I'll just slice it into thin pieces and bake it off and brush it with olive oil and sprinkle it with a little garlic and Italian seasoning, and it's super good to bring this at home. But this time, because if you listen to us and we talk about restaurants, if shrimp and grits is on a menu, Rhonda's gonna get it. If duck is on a menu, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And they have in their antipasto is gnocchi, and it's duck confit, pesto bianco, garden kale, and pine nuts for $16. I think this could be a meal.
This
Not a heavy meal,
fantastic.
but it is, I think, rich enough, and there's enough of it that you could treat this as a meal.
Yeah.
What did you think overall?
Absolutely. Just melt in your mouth. Amazing.
Yeah.
The gnocchi was perfectly cooked. The duck, the tenderness of it, the oh my goodness.
There were little
So
crispy
yummy.
bits as well, though, of the
Mhm.
duck that was like a nice balance to the gnocchi. And if you
Well,
remember
I like
when
the
we
pine nuts too,
Yes.
which is giving you that crunch too. Because the duck was very super, I guess, dare I say, moist
Yeah.
and tender, where that and the gnocchi is a little soft.
Yeah, and you get that nice crunch
But-
from kind of the pine nuts.
Mhm.
If you remember when we talked about food and wine and we had the gnocchi there,
Mhm.
and to me personally, I thought it tasted like potato,
Mhm.
which it's made from potatoes.
Correct.
Understandable. And I remember Jossie messaging us after and saying, gnocchi, if it's done really well, should taste like pasta. It should not have any flavor of potato. And that's what this was. I mean, this just tasted like an absolutely rich, delicious pasta. And I'm going to apologize now because I'm probably going to use the word rich for every dish that we had because I think it's the best explanation. There's just so much flavor that rich to me is the only way you can really describe it. And that's what this was.
Yeah.
I could seriously see going back here and maybe just getting a seat at the bar and having this as my meal.
Yeah.
And this will be one of those, like the ricotta. Like, so we sat down, we're like, I want the ricotta, but we've had it before. Let's get something different.
Right.
I'm going to feel the same way about this dish now, is that
I
I
know.
want to get it every time,
Yeah.
but then you think, well, we should try something different when we go back.
Yep.
They do have some starters. This is one of Lucy's favorite. Lucy and Caleb were with us. She got this the last time that we went, and we had it last time.
Mhm.
And that's the organic beet salad. This is fennel, burrata, pickled beets, beet puree, and chives for $16. Did you try it this time, or do you remember it from the last time that we went?
I remembered it from the last time because my mom loves beets.
Yeah.
And I don't like I shouldn't, because I am not that person who usually ever eats with my eyes, I guess.
Right.
But I tasted it and it was surprising again.
Yes.
Just like when we made the Good Guys burger,
Right.
I was almost mad I liked it, but it was still very earthy and something not that I would pick. But it
Yeah.
still was good, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, and I think you described that perfectly. From I'm not somebody that is gonna buy beets at home or eat beets
Correct.
or anything like that. But this is one of those dishes and one of those places where if you're going, you know what, I've never had beets.
Oh,
I'm interested because I know a
absolutely.
lot of people absolutely love them. This would be the place to try it.
Mhm.
This would not be going to Publix and buying beets there in a can or something and eating
Right.
it. It would be here. This was very fresh,
Mhm.
very light, very enjoyable. The burrata's really good. But yeah, I'm not going to probably choose this myself.
Right.
But this is the place to try it if you've never had it. All right, let's move on to what I think Topolino's does better than anywhere else on property, and that is their handcrafted pastas.
Oh, yeah.
And the first one, I believe it was Chuck that got this, was the rigatoni. And
Mhm.
we have gotten this before
Mhm.
ourselves. And this is a braised chicken sugo, broccolini, pancetta, wild mushroom, Parmigiano Reggiano. $32, I think, is a really good price
Yeah.
for a fine dining signature
Absolutely.
restaurant of this quality and caliber
Mhm.
for an entire entree.
Yeah.
How do you like this dish? Do you remember from the last time when we've gotten it before?
Yeah,
'Cause-
it was really good. And his portion was, it felt like
Yeah.
it was huge, too. I don't know why.
Yeah, these are big, thick rigatoni noodles. It's very
Super good.
earthy, And for someone who doesn't care for mushrooms normally, this is a good earthy kind of mushroom flavor that is added to it. It's a nice light sauce, but it perfectly coats the pasta. You've got that chicken in there. Like, I love this thing. I think
it's really good.
This is one of those, everything that we've ever had here is good.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this is one of those fail-safes in a sense, where even if somebody, like, for my parents who are not very adventurous, and I'm not going to call this place adventurous, but it is for, like, my parents.
Yeah.
This is the type of dish that I would say, I recommend you do the chicken rigatoni. You're going to like it.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but then sometimes when you're so, like, set in your ways, that mushroom, that more earthy might throw them off or whatever.
You probably have to get it without it. And that's the thing. I mean, like any Disney restaurant, if you have, for example, gluten allergies or you have any sort of allergies, you just have something you don't like. All of this stuff is being made fresh right for you. So if you don't want the mushrooms, don't get the mushrooms. If you don't like broccolini, don't get the broccolini.
Yeah.
It's great that they're going to literally handcraft this for you. So we had our eyes, both, not only myself, but Lucy as well. We had our eyes on a dish from day one that we got this reservation. And what did we opt to get? Because you and I split this.
Yeah, we were going to split it, and we got the lobster linguine. It is English peas, sauce Americana?
Sure.
Oh.
American?
I
don't know.
Pickled onions, squid ink tool for $49.
Yeah, I think ours was actually $52 that night. I believe it was at a market price.
Okay.
So online it's listed at $49, but I believe that night for us it was $52.
And that's why we split.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be 100% honest, this is a wonderful portion for one, I think. When you're looking at a, $50 entree, and a lot of their entrees certainly are around that price, as we'll go into talking to some of the other ones that people had around the table. We just personally were looking at what is the overall cost going to be of this meal, because we knew we wanted an appetizer, we knew we wanted an entree, we wanted to get a dessert, we wanted to have a drink, so you're adding it up in your head. Otherwise, we would have each gotten something, but it was basically based on budgeting and finance.
Yeah.
I absolutely love this dish, and I'm glad that we didn't spend twice as much money on entrees, but at the same time, I could have easily eaten this whole thing.
Oh, I agree.
Myself. I thought it was a perfect portion for one.
I agree, because I was a little sad when I saw it, not going to lie, because
knowing we had to split it.
Knowing we had to split it, and knowing that, next to Chuck's and next to Allie's, actually, I just felt like ours was definitely the smaller of everything. I mean, even up to Alex too. Like, everybody's, I guess, dish I felt like was more. And don't get me wrong, this was absolutely perfect. And even splitting, it was probably good that I didn't have more.
Yeah,
it's pasta. It can be heavy.
Yes.
So, but it was outstanding.
Yeah, I loved it. I will say, if you're going and you're thinking of getting this, go ahead and just splurge and budget and get another entree too, so that you can enjoy all of this yourself, or get two of these or something. Yeah, I mean, lobster tail, real fresh, delicious, I'll say it again, rich pasta. I loved this so much that, I wanted more. I'm glad that we split. I'm glad that we saved the money, but I will say, anybody who's going, again, we're fortunate enough we can go back to Topolino's when we want to, and get other stuff. If you're there, your once in a year trip or your once in a lifetime trip, I'd go ahead and splurge and go ahead and get yourself one of these other entrees that we all got to taste this night as other people ordered. I'll be honest, this is not something I would have ever considered ordering at Topolino's. It was recommended to Allie by Alfred. He said that this is a wonderful dish, and it is the classic sole fish.
Which is a fish.
Yeah, so this is sea beans, capers, asparagus, English peas, toy box tomatoes, and petite potatoes. This is $50. That seems like a lot for a fish dish.
But it's a whole fish.
Yeah, this was huge.
It was.
And she let us try it.
It was really shockingly good.
I didn't know that I liked sole. I mean, it's a pretty, I feel like, basic white fish. We really like firm white fish like a mahi or cobia. This is much flakier, I feel like lighter, and the flavors were just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. They were really good. And it was so funny because the little potatoes I thought were little mushrooms the way they were. And she's like, no, they're actually potatoes. And I was like, oh, wow. And I tasted them and it was fantastic.
Like the beets, if you're somebody who maybe has just never had fish, you don't think you like fish. You know, a lot of people are turned off when fish smells like fish. And fish shouldn't smell like fish.
Oh, gosh, no.
It should smell fresh.
Right.
It should not have that, what you consider, you know, rotting fish smell. So if you're somebody who's just like, I don't like fish, I'm not saying you go and order this for yourself, but if somebody else at your table orders it, this is the time for you to try
Well,
fish.
Alex actually does not like seafood. Well, from what I think I understood, I don't know if it was just directly fish, but Allie was like, Alex, I'm telling you, taste it. And he was very hesitant, but he did.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like fish at all.
Yeah.
So I thought that was amazing. And there is your like...
Yeah, you think you don't
example.
like fish? This is the time.
Yep.
This is definitely the time to try it. I'm not saying you're going to walk away and like fish everywhere, but I think you will like it here very, very much. Next, we're going to move on to the sea scallops. This comes with a celery root risotto, boyer noisette, baby shiitake mushrooms, and a truffle jam for $50. I want to get the sea scallops next time.
Did you? You had one, right?
I did taste, and it was outstanding.
Who got this one?
This was Amy. Got this.
Okay.
I absolutely love scallops.
I
I know
know you
you
do.
don't care for them.
I know,
but
and then I think she wanted to try to give me a taste, and I'm like, no, I'm good.
yeah, it was delicious.
Oh, I'm
Super
sure it
good,
was.
super flavorful. Nice big scallops. When they're perfectly cooked with that sear on the outside, but they're tender inside. Like
Yeah.
when scallops are done really well, I almost want to say they're like a medium. You know what I mean? Like they're still real soft inside.
Right. Like
They're
almost
fully
like a
cooked.
steak.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
fully cooked, but they're almost not. It's
Mhm.
like there's an edge. It's like there's a second that you could go from perfectly cooked to overcooked. And Disney, from this restaurant down to the festivals, we've always said, does an amazing job with scallops. They've
Yes.
got the timing. They've got everything done perfectly on these.
Yeah.
So next we'll move into what Caleb had, and that is the filet mignon. This has like a potato puree, bordelaise sauce, asparagus, mushrooms, a shallot vinaigrette, and I've had this in the
I
past.
just heard
the
say
first
you've
time we
had
ate
this,
there.
and it's so good, right?
Yeah, I'm still, I think if I were to, there's so much time in between them. Either this or the filet from Flying Fish is my favorite on property.
Okay.
I had them so far in between that the most recent Flying Fish is currently my number one. This was my number one leading up to that. So I feel like if I was able to like side by side taste them,
Right.
either one could win out.
Okay.
But this is so good here.
Yeah, and how does he get it? Like medium?
Oh, medium.
Perfect.
Yeah, go medium. It's
Or
going to be
medium
amazing.
rare even.
Even medium rare.
Mhm.
That's the thing, is like we've talked about before, is you go to Outback Steakhouse, you tend to order much further under how you really want it. So
Right.
if you want a medium steak, you order it medium rare.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it medium. If you want a
Correct.
medium rare, you order it rare.
Right.
Disney, places like this, Flying
Oh, yeah.
Fish, Yachtsman, again, Topolino's, like you order it exactly as you want because
Mhm.
that's how they're going to give it to you.
Yep.
So
100%.
one thing we almost forgot, and you actually reminded me of it, is what did we get as one of our enhancements?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that, and they do have enhancements. And because excuse me, I knew that when we were splitting, I was looking at the enhancements, and they have charred broccolini, and I absolutely love it. It's only $10. It's olive butter and candied almonds on this broccolini, and I thought it was outstanding. I
Yeah.
just love a good green, and broccolini is one of my probably favorites. I
Yeah.
eat it at work probably once a week,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
The broccolini to me, cooking it, is much like asparagus, where you do have some of the stem or stalk
Mm-hmm.
that can sometimes be either undercooked and it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
or it's overcooked and it becomes stringy and a little bit too chewy. And so I think to perfect both either asparagus or broccolini, they did a wonderful job of this.
They did.
I really liked the candied almonds with it,
Mhm.
which I wouldn't have ever really thought. I mean, again, we go back to our dish with the pine nuts earlier with the gnocchi.
Mhm.
It gives that little bit of crunch, a little bit of extra flavor, that nuttiness. I thought it was super duper good.
Yes.
So you and I did get a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
What did we get for dessert?
Well, of course, if there's creme brulee on the menu, I'm getting it. And this was a vanilla and citrus creme brulee. and this had the 50th anniversary chocolate stamp. This is
Yeah.
$14. It had some strawberry phone. It had some sugared beignets with it, which were super tiny though.
Like miniature
Like
donut holes, right?
Really tiny.
Yeah.
And to
Super
be called
small.
to be called beignets.
Yeah. But they
Like-
totally were beignets.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Sure.
flavor, you didn't get as much. I would say you didn't get as much as the doughy inside,
Yes,
right?
correct.
There was a lot more of the outside
Yep.
powdered sugary. I don't even know if this was powdered sugar. Wasn't it more like a
It was more
crystallized
like
sugar, right?
It was
Yeah.
more like a sugar donut.
Yes, it really was.
Tiny.
That's a
donut.
perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
But it was super
But it was
duper
good.
and refreshing.
And
right?
this creme brulee was fantastic.
I loved it.
Very, very good.
Yeah. And then Chuck and Allie and Alex, they got the cheese board.
Which always makes me
I
laugh.
Apologize, Gary. International selections: honeycomb, figs, mushroom conserva, and Marcona almonds for $18. They
Mhm.
really, really enjoyed this. I'm so our good friend Gary over in Scotland. He doesn't really like cheese. He doesn't like charcuteries
Right.
and stuff. I do agree. I know this has sweetness to it with the honeycomb and the figs and stuff like that. I still think charcuteries or cheese boards are an interesting selection for dessert.
I agree.
Like, part of me gets it, but part of me feels like that needs to be an appetizer. But
Oh,
I'm not
I
going to
agree.
hate on it. I would still get it. Like,
Yeah, and I would get it as an appetizer though,
Yeah.
just not for dessert. That's
For sure.
where to me, but it takes all. Like I'm a sweet person.
Yeah.
So, that's why it's probably on there for people that aren't really sweet, but they kind of want that
Yeah.
after. Like Lucy actually got a espresso martini
yes.
instead of an actual like dessert. So,
It-
and that was super good, she
Yeah.
said.
Oh, it was very,
You
very
tasted
good.
it,
I
didn't
did
you?
taste it. It was
Mhm.
outstanding. We used to get the espresso martinis. That's when we first met Ken, who is now at Bar Riva. He used to do
Yes.
them in the little coffee shop down in the
Yep.
Riviera lobby right next to the store there. I ended up getting, for the first time ever, I don't know why, I was like, I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to do like an
Oh,
aperitif,
yeah, that's
like
right,
a
you did.
dessert drink. And I
Mhm.
actually got a cognac. I got Cavassier,
Mm-hmm.
which I had never had. I really enjoyed it as like a dessert beverage. It has a nuttiness, a butteriness. Like, it's hard to explain, but I really enjoyed sipping on that.
Well, good.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. They give it in this cool little like Cavassier glass
Mhm.
that is made for these types of drinks. And I really enjoyed it.
Well, good.
So where would you rate, now that we've been back, Topolino's,
Mm.
this meal, overall experience,
So good.
service, everything? It's up there. Is it up
Oh,
in
yeah.
your top restaurants on
Yeah.
Disney property?
100%.
Yeah.
I would say. I just
Top
yeah.
3?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably the only reason it probably falls a little under California Grill is because, California Grill's got the Magic Kingdom you're
Yeah.
overlooking, and you've got like fireworks if you're staying there and having a later dinner. But food wise and actually crazy not expensive to me is Topolino's, and I would prefer to probably, like, if you were like, hey, we can get a Topolino's or a Cali Grill, I'd be like, oh, let's just go to Topolino's.
Would you? I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely. I absolutely love it here. I think the pricing is pretty on point and similar to California Grill. I do think overall, like you just said, based on being there right by Magic Kingdom,
Mhm.
where, we've gone before where the sun hadn't even set at
Mhm.
California Grill, and you're looking at Space Mountain
Yeah.
and you're looking at the castle. So I think that view and atmosphere can edge out Topolino's a little bit.
Right.
But I think when you're talking almost same priced food, like California Grill's now, steak and all, has taken a back seat for me
Mhm.
too.
But it's also been a long time since we've
It's
been
been a
back
while.
to California Grill,
I
so I
know.
feel like we can't
And
really
I believe our
say.
last experience there was when we sat at the bar and I got that weird potato
Mhm.
chip pizza, which kind of set me off a little bit.
Yeah.
But highly recommend Topolino's. Again, Mouse
Absolutely.
Dining. You can check them out at msmfriends.com. They're right there at the top of our page. Free service you can use to set those alerts if you could not get your Topolino's reservation. Highly, highly recommend breakfast. The steak at breakfast
Yes.
is outstanding.
That breakfast. Oh,
It's
that's
so good.
that's where I think that's hard, because I feel like you can't beat that. Like, dinner's fantastic.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but the breakfast is just
There's no comparison.
yeah.
Because it's not just your standard,
Right.
eggs, bacon, sausage, Mickey waffles. This is taking breakfast to a whole other level
Mhm.
for a sit-down restaurant, I think. And it does it absolutely fantastic.
I agree.
So before we start to wrap up here, I do want to say this is insane because in the next week and a half, we have our 500th episode, which is
crazy.
nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing,
That's amazing.
A lot like the 400th that we did, we are allowing you folks, you wonderful listeners, to call in. And if you call into 386-866-0236, we would love for you to leave us a message that we will try to feature on the episode. And what we want you to do is tell us what your name is, where you're from, and what is your Disney wish. And why are we going that route, Rhonda?
Because we will be on the Wish, the Disney newest cruise boat.
1 week prior to this episode airing. So little spoiler alert. We have a little handheld recorder we just got on Amazon because we can't pack all the big time podcast equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is, while on the Wish, not only with our wonderful friends that we'll be with, but to connect with some other folks and guests and Disney lovers, maybe some cast members if we can. And we want to ask them the same question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your Disney wish? And that can be absolutely anything. So again, that is 386-866-0236. Leave us a message, name, where you're from. What is your Disney wish? 500.
Woohoo!
That's crazy to me.
That's amazing.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you want to go ahead and get new episodes every Tuesday and Friday, you can hit that subscribe button. If you want to catch all kinds of cool stuff coming up, you can check out our Patreon group at wonderlandcrew.com. And finally, you're out on the internet, you subscribe, you're joining Wonderland Crew. We'd be so very thankful if you left us a rating and review.
Because it'll help our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.